You may not remember the exact moment it happened, but somewhere in the silent corners of your life, a belief was seeded. It might have come from a parent's warning, a spiritual teacher's gaze, or a mysterious experience you couldn't explain. It didn't scream, it whispered. And like a dream you never fully woke from, it stayed with you, evolving, haunting, guiding. What if that belief, the one you've repeated in your mind 1,000 times, wasn't meant to be true, but to crack you open? We often hold on to beliefs as anchors. They give us structure, help us make sense of chaos, and offer the illusion of permanence in an impermanent world. But what if some beliefs were never meant to give us comfort? What if their purpose was discomfort? What if they were designed with divine precision to disturb us just enough to make us curious, to pull us towards something greater than knowledge, toward awakening? Ask yourself right now, is the belief I'm clinging to keeping me safe or keeping me small? Imagine this, a child raised to believe they are fragile, unworthy, or broken. They carry that belief into adulthood, and it shapes every decision, every relationship, every dream they never dare to chase. But one day, in the middle of despair, they question it, not because they want to, but because they have no other choice. In that moment, their pain becomes the seed of inquiry. Could it be that the belief in their brokenness was never true, but necessary? So they would one day question everything. We assume beliefs are reflections of truth, but often they are reflections of trauma, culture, repetition. You were told something enough times and you believed it. But belief is not truth. Belief is a lens. And sometimes the lens is dirty, fogged by fear and generations of unconsciousness. Here's the paradox. Some of the most limiting beliefs in your mind may have been planted by your soul to lead you back to your essence. They are not blocks, they are breadcrumbs. Let's go deeper. Have you ever felt an unshakable belief about yourself that no matter how much you grow, still lingers? Maybe you believe you're not enough, or that you're here for something but can't quite grasp what. What if that belief is not meant to be removed quickly? What if it's a sacred puzzle piece, timed perfectly to unfold when your soul is ready? Could your most haunting belief be the compass pointing to your higher self? We rarely question beliefs that comfort us, but we must. Because comfort isn't growth, and in the spiritual realm, growth isn't optional, it's the very reason you came here. Think about this. What if the universe placed a belief in your path that would feel like a wound, but was actually a portal? A belief so deep, so convincing, that it would only be shattered by the light of your own awareness. There's something profoundly divine about struggle when it leads to awakening. Now let's talk about the sensation of betrayal by your beliefs. There's a moment in every spiritual journey where the beliefs that once guided you begin to suffocate you. It feels like losing your identity, even your sanity. But in truth, it is the soul shedding its skin. You are not your beliefs. You are the awareness that observes them. And until you realize this, you're still asleep, dreaming inside a system of inherited thoughts. At this point in the journey, many give up. The mind fights. It clings to the known. But what if you didn't resist? What if you leaned into the collapse of certainty and allowed the mystery to breathe through you? Because awakening isn't about adding more truths, it's about subtracting the lies. You're not here to believe more. You're here to see more. And sometimes, the seeing only begins when belief ends. Let's pause here and ask a deeper question. Have you ever considered that your suffering may be a divine arrangement? Not as punishment, but as preparation. What if the belief that you're lost is only there to bring you home? What if it's not even your belief, but one passed down through generations that ends with you not because you healed it, but because you saw through it?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Some beliefs are so deeply embedded they become invisible. You don't notice them, you live them. They become your voice, your fear, your habits. But every so often something happens, a breakdown, a mystical dream, an encounter with death or beauty, and suddenly you see it. The belief is exposed like a shadow in the light. And in that moment you meet the you that was always there, waiting behind the veil. There is immense power in asking, is this true? But even more power in asking, who benefits from me believing this? Often it's not you. Often it's the version of you that was easier to control, easier to silence, easier to keep asleep. The spiritual path demands rebellion not against others, but against the inherited scripts within you. You are not here to live out your lineage. You are here to liberate it. And yet liberation is terrifying, because when you step outside the belief system you've lived in, you lose your map. But this is the sacred disorientation. This is the space where something greater takes over. You begin to move not from belief, but from intuition. Not from fear, but from trust. And in that space, life becomes less about knowing and more about allowing. Now imagine waking up tomorrow with no beliefs. What would you see? Who would you become? What would you choose if you weren't afraid to be wrong, or alone, or misunderstood? This is not just a thought exercise, it's a spiritual initiation. To live without clinging, to act without certainty, to love without permission. That is the edge where belief becomes awakening. Many spiritual seekers never reach this edge because they confuse belief with identity. But you are not here to defend who you are here to dissolve into who you could be. The most powerful people are not those with the strongest beliefs, but those with the deepest capacity to see through them. The truly awakened are not believers, they are knowers. They know because they've let go. And here's the irony. When you let go of the belief, the truth reveals itself, not as a thought, but as a presence. Not as an answer, but as a silence so full, it feels like love. This is why the journey hurts. Because it strips you of everything false until only the sacred remains. That belief you've carried for years, what if it was never meant to guide you, but to break you open? You see, the divine is not interested in your comfort. It is interested in your remembrance. And sometimes the only way to remember is to forget everything you thought was true. That includes your deepest belief. Your belief may say you are unworthy, or alone, or broken. But what if that belief was planted by your soul, not to imprison you, but to awaken you when the time was right? Are you willing to let it go? Are you willing to sit in the sacred unknown and see what arises when the mind is quiet? Because beneath your beliefs, there's a truth that requires no words. It's the truth of who you are before the world told you who to be. And that truth has always been waiting, patiently, silently, lovingly. So I ask you now, if your deepest belief was planted only to awaken you, would you finally wake up, now that you've allowed the possibility that your deepest belief may not be the truth but a divine trigger? Everything begins to shift. The ground under your inner world starts to tremble. You begin to see how much of your identity, your relationships, even your spiritual path have been constructed around this belief. And in this seeing, something new is born. Not another belief, but a space, an opening, a portal to something infinitely more real than anything your mind has ever constructed. The most sacred moments in your life may not have been the happiest ones, they were likely the ones that dismantled you. The moments you cried out in silence, the nights when no answer came, the days when even hope felt like a lie. What if those moments were not failures of your belief system, but the very moments your soul was trying to free you from it? In those moments, you were not being punished, you were being initiated. You are being prepared to see truth without the filter of belief. You see, belief is like scaffolding. It supports the structure while the temple is being built. But once the temple is ready, the scaffolding must come down. Otherwise, it obstructs the very beauty it helped construct. Have you confused the scaffolding for the sacred? Are you still holding on to the belief because it got you this far? Even though it's now in the way, it's okay to release it. In fact, it's necessary. There's a humility that arises when you realize how many of your truths were never yours. They were borrowed, inherited, woven into your psyche by culture, religion, fear, trauma, and yet you defended them as if they were sacred. But truth does not need defense. Truth doesn't tremble when questioned. Only belief does. Questioning your beliefs doesn't make you faithless, it makes you fearless. The chosen ones, those who truly walk the spiritual path, are not those who believe harder. They are those who are willing to die to what they believe, again and again, until only what is real remains. They have walked through the fire of doubt and emerged not with answers, but with presence. They are not attached to being right. They are devoted to being real, and that is what makes them powerful. But let me ask you something uncomfortable. What would you lose if your deepest belief were false? Would you lose your sense of purpose, your sense of control? Would you feel betrayed, or would you feel free? Because freedom is often on the other side of the beliefs we've never dared to question. And the price of that freedom is the death of the illusions we've mistaken for truth. You are not here to be comfortable. You are not here to be certain. You are here to awaken. And awakening is not about adopting new beliefs, it's about seeing through all beliefs. Until you can sit in the center of your being without needing a single thought to justify your existence. Until your worth is no longer a debate. Until your divinity is no longer a concept, but a lived reality. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that the belief you've carried all your life that you are not enough, that you must earn love, that something is wrong with you was never a truth, but a veil. And that behind that veil is a self so vast, so luminous, so sacred, that it cannot be described, it can only be lived. That is who you are, not the belief. Not the pain, not the story. We often ask, what is my purpose? But perhaps a better question is, what truth am I here to remember? Because your purpose may not be a job or a mission, it may simply be to awaken, to remember, to embody the truth that has always been waiting beneath your beliefs. And here's the paradox. Sometimes the belief that causes the most pain is the very one that brings you home. You don't need to replace your old beliefs with new ones. You need to see through them, to see them as passing clouds, not permanent skies. Let them come. Let them go. Watch them. Question them. Bless them for what they taught you. And then let them dissolve. Because beyond belief is presence. Beyond thought is knowing. Beyond you is you. There is a sacred intelligence in the universe that knows exactly what you need to awaken. That is why your deepest belief feels so personal, so embedded, because it was tailored for you. Not to trap you, but to trigger your remembrance. The very thing you thought was your prison was actually your passage. The wound was the womb. The lie was the lesson, and the belief was the bell that would one day wake you. Can you feel it now? That subtle shift in your awareness, that quiet space where something ancient stirs? That is the truth calling you, not with words, but with silence, not with logic, but with love. It is not asking you to believe in it. It is asking you to return to it. And so, let this be your invitation, not to believe more, but to be more curious, more open, more willing to let go of everything you thought was you. Because the truth of you cannot be believed. It can only be remembered. And in that remembrance, all beliefs fall away like autumn leaves, revealing the tree that was always rooted in the infinite. You are never here to defend a belief. You are here to embody the divine. And the divine is not a belief, it is a becoming. It is the moment you realize that the very thing you feared was the doorway you were meant to walk through. It is the moment you stop searching and start seeing. That is the moment you awaken. So I leave you with this, not as an answer, but as a mirror. What if your deepest belief was never the truth, but the very illusion your soul chose to awaken the truth you are always meant to live? Let that question echo. Let it disturb you. Let it soften you. And when the belief finally breaks, let the light of who you truly are shine through the cracks.